Welcome to Guestimators, the quiz that gets inside the brilliant and bizarre brains of Britain. I'm Andy Bush, and every week we ask the British public life's biggest questions, like which ice cream flavour should be saved from extinction. This week we're delighted to be joined by comedian, writer and actress Suzi Ruffell. Suzi has 5 sellout runs at the Fringe under her belt, including the critically acclaimed Dance Like Everyone's Watching, which was nominated for Best Stand-Up Show at the National Comedy Awards. Her debut book, Am I Having Fun Now?, is out this June, and she'll be back on the road this summer, touring her brand new show, The Juggle, all about how exhausting it is to try to be a good person all the time. Suzi, welcome to Guestimators.
Hello. I never know what to do with my face when people do an intro.
It's a long time to wait, isn't it?
Yeah, it's sort of a big, it's a moment where you don't know what to do. But thank you for that nice introduction. Hello.
Hello, and it's brilliant to have you on the podcast. Tell us about your route into stand-up comedy then. Who were you watching growing up that kind of got you into stand-up comedy?
I think the first stand-up that I ever saw on television was Ed Byrne doing his routine about ironic. It became quite sort of a famous routine that I think was on something like Live from the Comedy Store or Comedy Central. I don't know what it was on, but I remember watching that and laughing at it with my dad and thinking like, oh God, this is amazing. Me and my dad are laughing at the same thing. That's so cool. And then I was pretty obsessed by Victoria Wood and French and Saunders, and then sort of latterly Catherine Tate. Mm-hmm. And I just have always loved comedy, and that it's nice that you mentioned that I'm an actress. I mean, we can say that I'm an actress. I haven't acted in about a decade, but
you still got it in the locker.
Listen, I don't know whether the locker is. I don't know whether it's left the locker without my knowledge. But I went to drama school and did all that for a bit and loved it. I had a
Did
great
it help
time
you? Drama school? What should you look back on it? How do you feel about it?
I loved it. I absolutely loved it. It was great. I had made some really good friends. I gave me the opportunity to move to London, which I thought was because I was 18. I thought it was the coolest fucking thing in the world. And I went to see loads and loads of theatre, and what I wanted to be was a theatre actor. That was all I.
Right.
Obviously doing telly and stuff is nice, but not that I really knew anything about telly then.
So you wanted to be at the Globe or something like that?
Or like in a rep company or at the National. That's what I was really into, live work. And then when I graduated just before the recession, and there was just no work. There was no work. Agents weren't taking on any new actors. It felt really dry. And so I trained for 3 years, graduated, and then worked full-time in a pub.
Oh, wow.
And it was kind of heartbreaking. And then a really good friend of mine suggested I have a go at stand-up. And that was when I was 25, 24, 25. And I did one gig at a place called the Lion's Den, which was at the Cross Kings.
Aptly named.
Yeah, absolutely. Which is at the Cross Kings in King's Cross. And was utterly hooked. Within, I got as many laughs as you can imagine someone doing their first ever gig would get. A few titters, people nods of agreement, by a very small audience, probably less than 20. But that was it. I was utterly hooked.
So did you go into that thinking, I don't know if I can do this?
I went into it thinking I need something to do that's creative because there's no acting work and I can't get a normal. I'm just not built for like an office job, or my brain doesn't work like that. I have no qualifications. I've got 4 GCSEs. That's literally the last qualifications I did. I've sort of got nothing. I had nothing to fall back on, which is like the worst way to go into any industry. But they gave me like hunger and a passion for it that just meant I was relentless.
The reason we are here is the quiz. Let's get stuck in.
Yeah, thank God.
Following a recap on how it works with Matt Cutler, aka the Statman.
Let's quiz. Thanks, Bush. Welcome, Suzi. So, Guestimators, we've compiled a group of people from across the UK representing a wide range of backgrounds, ages and interests, who we call the Guestination. You'll hear us mention them quite a lot. We ask the Guestination a series of stupid questions, frankly. But your job is to work out what their most common answers were. Uh-huh. Quite simple. Mm-hmm. Our listeners have been playing this quiz. We're actually playing it as we record.
Wow.
Oh my God, this is like
Memento. Real time.
This is pretty crazy.
Just like Memento.
There'll be 3 rounds. I'll take your answers. So shout them out, and it's you against Bush.
Yeah, okay,
so
great.
you are up against each other.
Sure.
As I say every week, I am the lowest common denominator, so don't let that put you off in any way, shape, or form. Okay?
Okay, I'm ready. I'm born ready.
Let's get cracking. So this week's Guestimators quiz is called MasterChef and Mucky Mugs, all the M's. And round one this week shows how we're slowly infiltrating the minds of our players so that all day they think about ridiculous and preposterous question scenarios, because we got a question through from the brilliantly named listener, Bendy Tweddle.
What a name. Sounds like a claymation.
Brilliant.
What's a claymation?
You know, like
Morph.
Like Morph.
Wallace and Gromit.
Claymation.
Yeah, great, got it. No funny aside on that. Just interesting. I didn't know. Maybe some of the listeners don't know. It's just nice to touch base. We don't know all the things.
No, but Bendy, get in touch. I would love to see.
Are you a claymation?
Are you a claymation? But Bendy wanted to.
Do you live near a trap door? That's another claymation.
Yeah, I used to scare the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Bendy wanted us to ask the Guest Nation if all the letters of the alphabet had a fight, which one would win? Been thinking about that for a long time. And producer Will and I, are actually going viral on TikTok at the moment discussing this, which shows how crazy social media is.
Wow.
We've got like 70,000 people on TikTok.
What?
Yeah, I know. We usually don't get that type of numbers. Just talking about this ridiculous question.
Do you have a favourite letter? Just to start things off here, Susie?
No, I'm dyslexic, so I sort of like and dislike all of them equally.
Okay. What is your relationship with letters and language then, being dyslexic?
Well, as I would say that growing up, I found it really tough because I wasn't diagnosed as dyslexic. And then when I was, I went to school in sort of the late 90s, early noughties, where it was sort of just like, oh, you're a bit thick. It wasn't like, oh, you're neurodiverse, how interesting, you're going to have so many of these other talents, which is going to be wonderful, and you're going to actually bring some really interesting things into the world because of your different way of thinking. It was like, you can't add up and you can't think, well, you're a fucking idiot then. So it was slightly, I don't know if you can hear the difference there, it was slightly different. But now I really love language because, as you mentioned, I've just written a book and I'm quite into reading. I'm always reading one or two books. I try and get through like a book every 10 days. And I'm always trying to... Yeah, because I think that... it's funny because I think they're actually recording in the room next door, but I heard Richard Osman say on something, because obviously he's such a prolific writer, that you've got to read to write. And I was like, oh yeah, of course you do. And I did read quite a lot already. But then once I sort of got my book deal, I was like, I got to read all the time. I got to read because I need to like further my understanding of language and how you can use it and words. And I always like to ask, when you said that word before about morph, what was it called? Claymation.
Claymation.
Yeah, you got to ask. Because I think so often we'll be like, oh, just to pretend that I know what that means. But I'm quite happy to be like, oh no, I don't understand things.
How do you stay awake when you read? Because I've been trying to do quite a lot of reading.
I go to bed really early if I'm not gigging.
What kind of time are you going to bed?
Well, okay, so our routine is this. If I'm not working. So,
okay.
I'll gig sort of if I'm on tour 4 or 5 nights a week. But if I'm if I'm sort of work in progress, maybe 4 nights, maybe sometimes 3. So dinner, 5:30, bang on.
Wow. So you would have hit Neighbours back in the day, watching Neighbours on telly.
Sure. I knew that you meant the TV show. I didn't think you'd be aggressive with my neighbours.
She's had a few
your
problems.
neighbours? Yeah, I'm from Portsmouth. I've got a working class heritage. Of course, at some point I've punched a neighbour. But I've become middle class. Haven't you heard? But I then 7 o'clock. My daughter's in bed.
That's good.
We're quite strict on bedtimes. Or firm is a better word. We're quite firm on bedtimes because she's better if she slept more, and so are we.
That's a really good point, man.
So we've got, stories and whatnot else. You got to
cut stuff out.
Cut stuff out,
Yeah.
And then...
I'm writing down your routine.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm writing it down.
And I really like that you are. I really appreciate that.
Just playing along with it.
Yeah, no, it's good.
There we go.
What is that? Is that an iPad of some description?
It's like a little electronic notepad. Because I like making notes, but I used to lose all my notes all the time.
Yeah, no, I like that.
So it's good. You can see it on your phone sometimes as well. If you're in a bit of a panic and you've forgotten this, you can still look at it on your phone.
Yeah, that's nice.
Give it a name drop so that they might sponsor us.
Remarkable. It's remarkable.
Oh, wow. If they wanted to send me one, I'd also be curious. Okay. So this is what this podcast is about, right? Me just trying to get some free shit.
Yeah, it's called product placement.
Yeah. Great. So what I think about Burberry is they make great coats. And so, and then we sit down at 7:30 and we watch one, but if it's really good, we'll push to 2 episodes of a thing.
Okay.
And it will, more often than not be some sort of American crimey, maybe presidential type thing.
Right.
Or Call the Midwife, which is my favourite programme. That's not even a joke. And
so this takes us to around about 8:30. Surely you're not thinking of wrapping up by this point.
Well, that's if it's one ep.
Okay, that's a good point.
And you know what? If it's a really good book, I will start thinking I do need to be in bed for 9 because I want an hour and a half of reading. I'm in bed by 10.
That is incredible. That's really good. I should be aspirationally
And then I get,
more
and do you know what? I get off my phone. You've got to get away from the blue light. I don't know what. I feel like I've brought a really strange energy to this podcast.
No, I like it.
Really,
I like this.
I'm really sorry. It's like, do you want to do some fun quiz? I'm like, yeah, but I'm also going to tell you about sleep because that's what I'm an expert in.
It's getting quite Jake Humphrey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do we like him? What's the vibe there? We probably can't say. So,
no comment.
Maybe cut that bit. I don't. Yeah, he just keeps popping up on my Instagram. And
it's either him or Stephen Bartlett. That keeps popping up in
yeah.
He's the other reason. I kind of like social media, but if I was to leave social media, it would be because of Stephen Bartlett. What he said next, you would not believe. He had a live mic and all that kind of stuff.
You're telling me that this is going to change everything.
Yes.
DM me for the podcast. I don't want to DM you. Just put it on Spotify like everybody else. So, and we're in bed quite early, and I like to read my book.
I like it.
Is that?
I go to bed at like 11:30 midnight, which is really bad.
I think that's terrible.
Yeah, I'm only 18. Look at the state of me. I need to go to bed earlier. Matt, I'm so sorry.
No, that's all right.
So far,
I haven't even asked
Is this what you
yet.
wanted? Is this podcasting? I never know.
This is podcasting.
We'll go with the flow. So, just as a reminder, Bendy Tweddle asked us to ask the Guestination if all the letters of the alphabet had a fight, all 26 of them, which one would win? Question 1. Which vowel was said most by the Guestination?
I would guess O. Oh.
It's quite a hard vowel, fighty wise.
Yeah, but it'd be like oh.
Oh.
Oh. Oh, really? Oh.
I was thinking A.
No, but I think A.
Oh, but O might be like oh.
Yeah, I still think it's tricky.
You've got a different tack to what Will and I thought, which was we were thinking more
Oh,
about how
you
they
your
look
TikTok
like
audience say, yeah.
Oh, okay.
As in like, but no, because we actually talked about O. We called it a sumo wrestler. Because it'd be really hard to take down an O.
Could roll everyone over.
Yeah, nice.
I wasn't thinking like how the letter might look physically, though. Is that what you guys are thinking of?
That's what. Well, who knows how the Guestination interprets
Okay.
it?
Susie and I are kind of saying the letters out loud and using that kind of. But you guys are TikTok sensations. So what the fuck do we know?
Yeah, I don't know. I rarely go viral, so I need to learn from you guys.
So you're going O. I'm going to go A.
Okay, I'll take that. Nice. Questions 2 and 3. I'll give you these together. I just simply want to know what's the most common answer and what was the second most common answer. And if you say one of those in the wrong position, I'll give you a half point.
Super.
Just going through the vowels in my head there.
Not
just
vowels,
vowels,
every
anything.
letter.
Any letter.
Any letter. What was the most common
So
and what was the second most common?
G.
What's your thinking behind G?
Because it's like. It's a shame this isn't visualised.
It is.
It is.
Oh, it is, yeah.
Clip that up. Get ready to go viral again, boy.
Here we go.
Yeah, I think because it's like a growl.
It's very it's more like a purr than a growl. Is it? Is that the best growl you've got going on there?
Yeah, but I'm kind of a soft person. Okay. I've just got short hair.
I'm going to go B.
B.
It's quite abrupt.
Oh, nice. Okay. I'll take B, most common for you, Bush. G for you, Susie. What about second most common?
What about X? I feel like.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
X came up quite a lot.
I said X is quite like a human form, isn't it? Like arms and legs.
Sure.
So it's quite hard. Hard to knock over.
Or like just.
Yeah.
Like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like we're on Britain's Got Talent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but X is kind of quite a pacifist. Like, no.
Don't do it.
Do you know what I mean? Just trying to get in your head there.
Keep trying, baby.
I'll go Z.
Z.
Oh, no, that's asleep. Zed's asleep.
Z.
You're crazy, Bush.
And it's got like a Zorro type vibe to it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Puss in boots.
Quizzing and learning
That's
today.
the thing. Good to know.
Quiz and learn.
Right, nice. I'll take B, then Z for you, Bush, and G, then X for you, Susie.
Yes, please.
Last question on this round. We've actually fired through it. There were 7 letters who were not said by anyone on the Guestination. There's about 100 people on the Guestination. 7 letters were not even in the mix. Just name one of them. Opposite end of the spectrum from most.
So a letter that no one would consider to be kind of fighty.
Would win the fight.
Soft letter.
L.
Oh. Why is that? Why have you said L?
Well, I'm not taking you through my process.
It's really turned, isn't it? This episode's turned. 2 minutes ago chatting about your bedtime routine. Now you won't even look at me.
Yeah, well, no, I feel like I've shared too much. Because love is so soft.
Love. It's the language of love.
Live, laugh, love. You know, that's what I always say.
I've got so many of those stencils around the house. And home over the fireplace. With that in mind, I might go H for home.
H.
And
H.
homo.
Yes. I haven't got that over the fireplace yet.
I do, actually.
Okay, nice.
I didn't see that one in B&M.
No.
Right, I'm taking L for you, Susie, and H for you, Bush. Nice, we've fired through that round.
We have?
We have fired through. The answers are in.
Oh.
Come on.
What vowel was said most by the guest nation? It was A.
Oh,
Bush got that.
It's a lucky start.
I was rooting for O in the whole
Thank
in this whole
you.
process,
I
just
appreciate that.
so you know. I can tell you that the most common answer was K. Kicking.
Oh,
Yeah,
kicking.
for sure. Kicking
Yes.
car,
I
yeah.
think that is the.
The reason.
I think so.
People have grown up saying kicking car,
Kicking
haven't they?
car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The second most common answer, however, was X.
Back in the game.
1 point for Susie
Thank you
there.
very much.
Fist pump there from Susie, just so you know.
And 7 letters not said by anyone. I can tell you that I wasn't said by anyone. I just two leads. We talked about this on the bonus round podcast. Two
Push it
leads,
over.
push them over. Y wasn't said by anyone. V wasn't said by anyone.
Top heavy, why, isn't it?
U wasn't said by anyone. P wasn't said by anyone. N wasn't said by anyone. And L wasn't said by anyone.
Wow. Good
Yeah.
work.
Thank you.
So that gives Susie 2 out of 4 on the first round, and Bush, you were on a 1.
2-1 at the end of the first round,
2-1
right?
at the end of the first round.
How'd you feel about that, Susie?
Yeah, pretty good.
Quite intimidating amount of rings you've got there when you're doing your fist bump. It's almost knuckle duster-like.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I like a lot of rings. I think that's a lesbian thing.
Is it?
I'm not even joking. There's like TikTok videos that's like lesbians getting in after a night out. It's just them taking off. That's why that became a really funny thing. But yes, I'm married, and then I've got others as well.
Like it. Before we get into round 2, if you're listening and didn't play this quiz, make sure you sign up at guestimators.com. Every Monday, the quiz lands in your email inbox, and you've got until 6 p.m. on Wednesday to tackle it. This podcast right here is the first place to hear the answers and whether you top the weekly leaderboard. And if you're enjoying the show, please give us a rating and a review. It really helps us to spread the word. Well, listen, welcome back. What have you got in store for us in round 2, Statman Matt?
Right, for round 2 this week, we told the guest nation to imagine they were a celebrity, and then we asked them if they could go on one celebrity reality TV show, which one they would choose. So I'm thinking here, biggest payday, what's best for profile, funnest experience, what factors would have trumped?
Strictly, without doubt.
Would you go on Strictly? What's your dancing ability like, Susie?
My dancing ability is not bad. I can tap dance. I grew up tap dancing.
Check you out.
Yeah, could you please?
But like, is that something you could just do a bit of tap dancing if you were waiting for the bus type thing?
Yeah. I sort of went every week for probably 10 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I loved it. I think if the timing was right, I would love to do it. But I've got lots of friends that have done Strictly, and I think it takes over your life.
It does look quite grueling, doesn't
So
it?
I think that you need to be like, I think it'd be quite hard to do it with a little kid.
Yeah. What would be if you were going into Strictly, what would be the dance you'd be looking forward to doing that you might be the best at?
Charleston, probably.
With a bit of
It's got like
jazz hands.
it's just sort of, it's got swivels in it, and it's sort of fun. I think I'd be more good at sort of that sort of thing and Latin than like in Hold Ballroom.
Oh yeah, okay.
I'm not super graceful. But yeah, maybe one day. I mean, I think it's a fantastic show. But that would be the one, definitely, because I think people would like to learn a skill.
Yeah.
I think people assume that you get paid a truckload,
Which
which I think probably some people do.
Do they? I don't. Yeah, I never know
I don't
whether
know.
it's like it's something like Glastonbury festivals, like great opportunity, but you don't get paid that well. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I bet you get paid pretty good. And then I think people would love to learn how to do it. And it's such a sort of brilliant family show that it's kind of hard to hate.
Yeah.
I think.
And what about the Masked Singer? Let's say, it's just as an experiment, right?
Yeah.
If there was an item that's important to you that you would be on the Masked Singer, what would you be called?
Oh, that's good. Well, people kept getting in touch being like, Susie's teeth. And then people were like, Susie's teeth or it's Alan Carr. I was like, okay, I don't know how you're mixing us. And then it was Mel Goodrick. So I'm like, I don't think that I'm that.
Why did they think that was you? Like,
I don't know.
The clues or something, do you think?
I don't know. They probably said she's a bit of a legend. I don't know.
Something like that. A bit of a legend.
A bit of a legend. No, I don't know. What would be my thing?
Alarm clock. Suzi Ruffell is alarm clock.
Book.
The book,
Early
yes.
night. I don't know how you do early night.
Early
a
night.
moon.
The bookworm. Like
The
a worm.
bookworm.
Yeah,
There
Super
you
cute.
go. Love it.
Super cute.
Really cute. Adorable.
Would you glow? The bookworms glow?
Yeah,
I
let's
think
say
they can.
glowworm, bookworm, same thing.
How do you think they read in the dark?
That's a really good point. Didn't even think about
There
that.
we go. You're learning, you're listening.
Just for some context, Susie, Bush
Yes.
hates the Masked Singer, and there was and
Oh.
one of them this year was called Bush.
Yeah, I was getting a lot.
Why do you hate the Masked Singer?
I'd like kind of making a fist whilst I'm talking to you about it. I don't know what it is. I have to go for a walk sometimes because I moan so much in the lounge. Katie, my other half, says just go for a walk,
away.
go away for a bit.
Yeah.
I just always get like I worry that it's like, oh, this sounds so bad, but I worry it's like like morons. It's for morons a little bit. Do you know what I mean? And
I think it's just for fun.
I know that, and I should
think
just
this
be...
is more about you than it is about the Masked Singer.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Is
I
my turn for
like it as a
therapy?
show.
Yeah, I know. Do you know what I mean? There's sometimes that Saturday night telly thing, and it feels a bit kind of like, is this moronic? I worry that this might be a bit moronic. Do you
I
know what
think
mean?
that Saturday Night TV is broad, but I don't think it's moronic. I think it's trying to be family friendly.
Okay.
So I think it's trying to be something that your nan can watch, but also an 8-year-old can watch.
That's a good point. That's fair enough.
I think.
Yeah, like Gladiators.
Like Gladiators, yeah.
Glowworm has spoken.
Yes.
Right, so I'll ask you a question here. So that was the question. We asked that was the round. We asked the Guest Nation, if they were a celebrity, which reality TV show would they go on?
Yeah.
Questions 1 and 2 on this round. What was the most common answer? What was the second most common answer? I'm going to give you some choices.
Oh, okay, sure.
Celebrity MasterChef is in the mix.
Yeah, that's good.
Dancing on Ice. I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here.
No, people won't want to do that.
Strictly Come Dancing.
Of course.
And the Masked Singer. So you mentioned 2 of them already. So the most common and second most common answer are both in there.
So I would say the most common is Strictly, and the second most common is MasterChef. I think people wouldn't want to do the ice skating one because they'd be too worried they were going to hurt themselves.
Yeah, it's quite brutal, that one, isn't
Quite
it?
brutal.
Todd Carty. I don't make the sign of the cross. He's still with
Yeah,
us,
I
but
think
he
he's
nearly
still
died.
with us. But yeah, and then I think people will like watching I'm a Celebrity, but they wouldn't want to be in there. Because they wouldn't want to eat the things and they wouldn't want to be crazy hungry.
Eat the kangaroo anus or whatever it is. they have to eat.
Yeah, it's not my vibe.
Would you eat one of them bug? Oh, imagine if you were a glowworm, you couldn't go eating one of them, could you?
No, that's like cannibalism.
It would be. For me, I weirdly, I kind of feel like people might want to go on I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here because you get to like jump out of a helicopter and be in the jungle and stuff. So maybe they might, because Strictly's quite intimidating, as you rightly point out. So I think I'll go for I'm a Celebrity first.
Oh.
And then, just because I was so mean about it and you've made me feel bad, I'm going to
Good.
say Masked Singer.
Nice.
Okay?
Okay, I'll tell you that. I was always under the impression that I'm a Celebrity is the best payday. You only have to go for like a month and you get a massive wedge, but I don't know whether
Yeah,
that's
they
true.
gave Farage a load of money, didn't they?
I think it depends who you are.
Yeah.
I think that
Yeah.
there are some people that have probably made insane money.
Lots of money.
And some people that probably haven't.
Yeah, fair.
I do like the idea of having my name and then my mobile phone number on the back of my T-shirt.
You know, you can just go to a Snappy Snap and get that.
It's a good point.
There is
I've
one
been
in
playing
Lee as
along
well.
there.
You can go.
Really?
Yeah.
There you go.
We'll get you one made.
Tex Bush.
All right, okay, I'll take I'm a Celebrity, top answer for you, Bush, then Masked Singer, second most common, and for you, Susie, Strictly, then MasterChef. Last question on this round, what was the least common answer? And it's in that selection as well.
See, I'm going directly. I think Dancing on Ice. Because I think that ice skating is really hard.
Yeah.
And I think people are really aware that you can really hurt yourself.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many people who've pulled out halfway through.
It looks kind of humiliating as well, doesn't it, a little bit?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yes. Because if you fall over on Strictly, you've just fallen over. But if you fall over on Dancing on Ice, you've fallen over when there's blades on your feet and it's ice.
Yeah.
So that would be my guess.
I'm going to agree.
Yeah, Dancing on Ice for both of you.
100%.
This might sound snobby for me, but who the hell watches Dancing on Ice?
The people.
The people, I guess.
Just the people. Your TikTok followers, you two.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Our beloved TikTok
Who
followers.
watches linear TV? I mean, I think the thing is loads of people.
Yeah.
I think that, like, I will be like, oh, God, who? And then you go to, like, my auntie's house, my mum's house. Like, loads and loads and loads of people watch linear TV. But I think that we in the sort of digital age where like everyone watches it on catch up, everyone's just watching things on their phone. It's like, no, I think loads of people still watch telly.
Yeah. I think particularly on Saturday night they will just sit through that kind of sequence of programs probably. So yeah, I changed my view on Saturday night TV. It's brilliant.
Yeah, it's great.
It is really good.
God bless Ant and Dec.
Yes indeed.
Okay, the round done. Answers are in. I can tell you the second most common answer was Celebrity MasterChef, which Susie got bang on.
Well done, Susie.
People like to think they can cook.
Most common answer, Strictly Come Dancing.
Oh my word.
Susie on a max for this round. Least common answer, Dancing on Ice.
Kill that.
Is that
a max?
A clean
max
sweep
on that round.
That's a clean sweep.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? That's incredible.
Well, I have been hacking Matt's computer, so I can't take all the credit.
Just don't look at any of the photograph folders.
Yeah, please don't look at my OneDrive. No. So that means at the end of this round, Susie, you're on a 5, Bush, you're on a 2. You can still crawl it back.
Crawl it back.
Claw it back.
I can still crawl back.
Claw it back. It's going to be tough.
Susie, let's talk about your book. You mentioned your book.
Yes.
It's out in June.
Yes, this is true.
Is it about anxiety, overcoming anxiety a little bit?
Yeah.
What's your relationship with anxiety like then?
So, yes, the book is about anxiety, and I've always been a very anxious person from when I was very little. I was a very anxious child. And this book is sort of it's a memoir, so it's sort of moments of my life. So there's a moment about growing up and being very worried about my mum dying, or being a teenager and really struggling to fit in and not really knowing where I was meant to be in the world. There's a chapter about coming out. There's a chapter about becoming a mum. There's a chapter about having your heart broken. And at the end of each chapter, and each chapter is how my sort of anxiety is intersected with those moments in my life. But at the end of each chapter, I sit down and talk to an expert. So I talk to psychologists and therapists and experts in the field, where I get genuine advice from people that know an awful lot more than me. So I'm sort of, talking about a subject, making fun of it, talking about how I have dealt with it, but then you'll get genuine advice from a psychologist about how to deal with a very anxious child.
Right, yeah.
Or I talked to Dolly Alderton about how to get over a broken heart. Or I talked to Elizabeth Day about how to cope with career highs and lows. If a lot of your identity is tied up in what you do for a job, if you haven't got a job for a while, if you've got no identity, you're not you anymore.
Yeah.
And so there's lots of different points, and about how to sort of be a working mum or be a working parent. And so, I started writing it because I thought, this would be an interesting thing to do. And it would be something a bit different.
Yeah.
And it'd be something where I can be home for a bit because I've got a little kid. And then I loved writing it way more than I thought I was going to. I loved the rhythm of being a writer. I loved the, so often with stand-up, you're always heading towards a punchline. You're always heading towards something to surprise the audience, or a story where there's going to be a huge laugh, or some sort of act out, or some sort of, stupid. I'm quite a physical stand-up, so there might be some big physicality moment. Mm-hmm. But whereas with writing a book, I could just talk about a subject sort of quite honestly and in a way that was way more open than I can really be on stage, or with more nuance than you can maybe be when you're trying to be funny all the time. And so I've really loved writing it to the point where I'm now want to pitch another book straight away.
And then you're touring in June as well.
I am indeed.
It's all going on. Tell us about that, The Juggle.
The Juggle. So The Juggle is about me trying to do lots of things all of the time and often getting them wrong. I'm writing it at the moment. I mean, the trouble is with the tour, to take you slightly behind the curtain, and I'm sure other comedians have said this on the podcast before, but you do have to come up with a title before you write the show.
Oh, right, okay.
So the show was on sale before I'd started writing it.
Wow.
Because you have quite a long lead time.
That's actually terrifying.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah. So people were buying tickets for a show that I had 10 minutes of.
So do you ever worry that, oh my God, what if I can't think of any other stuff?
Well, it's my job, so I kind of just have to. You hope that it's going to be, incrementally better from the next one, and you constantly make improvements, and you're... but I really love stand-up. And some comics love stand-up. I know lots of comics that really don't, that did love stand-up once, and now they don't love it. But I look forward to gigs in a way that I did when I was an open spot. I really love it.
Oh, okay.
I really love it. It's my favourite thing to do. I've done lots of telly, and it's always, lovely to get to do TV. But for me, TV is really a vehicle for me to sell more tickets to my tours so I can tour more.
Okay.
I just absolutely love putting together a show. I find it so exciting to take people on a little journey and, try and do something creative that's different in each show. And So I'm writing at the moment. I'm doing like a work in progress tour where I'm doing a couple of shows a week where I'm going on with notes, which is a bit of the writing that I love, because I've got about an hour and 15 minutes now. And now it's like the sort of wrestling with it and working with it and working out that, you know, bits being cut all the time, they're not getting enough laughs, you gotta go. And then there's other things where you can, you know, take people in a slightly different direction. So yeah, it is about me trying to juggle lots of things. It's also become about me wanting to be, and this is quite a recent thing, I want to be who my daughter thinks I am.
Okay.
My daughter has the highest opinion of me of anyone in the world. Okay. I would love to be that person.
Oh, that's
and
lovely.
So there's sort of part of the show is about that as well, which has been, that's quite a new thing that I've realised in the writing of it. That was something that I was actually, I'd done a couple of previews and I tried that idea, and then I was having lunch with Ramesh, Ranganathan. I don't think he's sort of like Madonna now, isn't he? I was having lunch with Ron because he's on my book. In the audio, I interview some of my really good friends about their anxieties, and Ramesh is one of the people I've interviewed. So we went for lunch afterwards, and I mentioned that to him, and he was like, "I love that as an idea," and it's nice when you get another comic to go, "Oh yeah, that's." And so then I was like, "Yeah, I love that as an idea." So then I went home and I wrote more about who she thinks I am, and who I want to be, and sort of that's the sort of the purest idea of you is like kind of what your kid thinks you are.
Yeah,
you know, because she thinks I'm brave and strong, which I'm not. She thinks I'm really smart, which I'm not. I'm average at best.
You're kicking my ass on this quiz.
Well, yeah, I know, but I don't think this isn't Mensa. I don't know how to tell you that. Unless it is, and then I'm like absolutely pumped by this.
If we can use "This Isn't Mensa" on the podcast poster, that'd be amazing.
So yeah, it's still growing and becoming something different. And, you know, about how I feel about myself, about what other people feel about me. There's, you know, I've got some materials about trolls. I think it's, you know, a weird time to be someone that puts their head above the parapet with stuff, you know, and some people get so angry about things that don't concern them, and comedians that they never have to pay to see, you know, and people get furious. Yeah. And I don't know why that is, but I think it's quite an interesting thing to talk about. So it's that, but it's also funny. Like, I really worry when I talk about shows and stuff that people are going to be like, all right, boring, come on. But I promise you, like, it is funny too.
Amazing. Well, listen, that's in June as well. People can get tickets right now.
Mm-hmm. They can indeed. And if they're wondering what my stand-up's like, if you've not seen me before, which is, you know, very likely, I have a special that is on £800 Gorilla called Snappy, and that was my last tour that I recorded at the Bloomsbury Theatre last year, and I did like a 75-day tour all around the country of that show. And that's kind of a nice snapshot to what I do.
It's time for our final round.
Oh, thank God.
What do you have for us?
Absolutely.
Finish me off.
Yeah, really, really. Finish him.
Finish him. Statman Matt, what have you got?
For the final round this week, we asked the Guest Nation how many hot drinks, so I'm talking tea, coffee, hot chocolate, etc., they would ideally have in the same mug before either washing it completely or moving on to a new mug. Don't say we don't cover the hot topics on Guestimators.
Oh, very good. Love it.
Yeah, so they're using a mug. How many times are they going to use it basically before they move on to a new one?
Do you have a posh crockery set round at your house, Suzi?
No, I'm really accident prone. I break everything.
Well, I'd consider you to be quite a careful person. That surprised me somewhat.
Oh, no, I'm really cat-handed.
Are you?
Yeah, really cat-handed. When I used to go to like play dates as a kid, not that we called them that then, but you know what I mean, when you used to go around someone's house to play, frequently I would get to like be like, your mum's here, and I'd go to the front door and be like, I broke something. Like, always, like, I broke a mug or I broke a bowl or I dropped a thing. I'm quite clumsy.
Have you got like any posh special mugs in your house that remind you of certain things? That, you know, like branded mugs of Disneyland trip or?
I have one from a Disneyland trip, yes, with S on for my name, and or Spotify, whatever you like, and I have one that my agent gave me that says Anxiety on it, TEA, which is nice.
Done there.
It's good. It's good stuff. It's good, strong stuff. As is the tea. And then I've got my own merch.
Oh, right.
Which is sort of
in the house, right?
Yeah, because I like to give people that when they come round. You're like, you're here, but remember I did this tour 2 years ago. Remember, I have this podcast. I hope you're listening.
So have you got boxes of like your mugs, like Del Boy's flat in your lounge type thing?
No, I kind of love that. No, I don't. I do have some yellow paint if anyone's looking. No, it's a little little link to it doesn't matter. So no, I know the very nice people that make them, a company called Jigsaw. They sent them to me.
Oh, right.
So I've got. But no, I'm a smasher of things. Like we bought 6 really nice mugs when we moved into our house. We moved into our house 2 years ago. We have one left. They were all broken by me.
Destroyed. Absolutely destroyed.
Yeah, like carrying too many things down the stairs, tripping over my own feet.
Lazy person's handful, that kind of thing. Carrying too much stuff.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah.
How dare you call me lazy?
Well, I'm just inferring from your behaviour.
That's rude.
Well, things have soured in this
Yeah, I know. Let's make it even more tense because, Bush, you need to max this round to match Suzi.
I shall max it.
Oh, right, here we go then. So, question 1, who said they'd use a mug more on average, men or women?
Men. Do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I'm going to agree. It's just pretty simple. Men.
Men?
Yeah.
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 Okay, I'll take men for both of you on that. Very quick.
Multi-use mug.
And questions 2 and 3 this round before the tiebreaker. Simply tell me what was the most common answer and what was the second most common answer. And again, I'll give you a half point.
How many?
How many times they would use a mug before?
I think it's because the thing is, if you're using it for the same beverage, you wouldn't go coffee then tea. You could kind of go tea then coffee.
I do that sometimes.
Do you?
Yeah.
I was about to say I wouldn't, but an animal would. Summed
him up.
With that.
Because when you came in here, Suzi, we offered you a tea or a coffee, and you said, "No, I'll just have water." So, what is your view on hot drinks?
Oh, I'm into them. I've had 2 teas and a coffee already today.
Wow, fair play. That's good.
Thank you. Appreciate you. But yeah, I think 2 is the most common answer, and I would say 3 is. I don't think it's going to go more than that. I think if you're having loads of tea, but then after a while you get that sort of weird sort of tea situation where you're like, and then sometimes how sometimes tea goes a bit leopard print, and you're like,
little blotchy bits.
Yeah, why is that?
Hard water, I think, in London.
Yeah, it's lime scale.
Yeah,
it's lime scaley.
It's awful.
Well, that's the thing. I've moved out of London, so
it was mainly because of the lime scale.
It was.
That's what made her leave.
Yeah, that's what made me leave.
Where's your lime scaleless haven that you've moved to then?
Brighton.
No lime scale down there?
Probably. I don't know. I'm not hot on lime scale. I'm not cold in it either. But no, Brighton, which is a huge surprise for anyone that meets me or knows me. You, Brighton? No way! My God.
So it was, what were you going for number-wise?
2 then 3.
2 then 3.
Yeah.
What are you saying, Bush?
I'm going to go 3. Is it like, in the First World War, you're not supposed to take the third light of a cigarette off a match? Because the first one, the sniper on the other side of the trenches would see it. Second one, they take aim.
How old are you?
I'm 115.
Right, okay, cool. I don't understand. Sorry. You're going to have to walk me through this whole thing.
So, have you ever heard the thing that you're not allowed, you should not, it's bad luck to take the third cigarette light from a single match? Have you ever heard that before?
No.
So it's an old bit of an
old wives' tale.
Well, it was actually a thing from the trenches in the First World War that if you took too many lights from a single match, it gave the sniper on the other side of the trenches, let's say the German side, too long to be able to line up and then shoot you. And that's why people don't have the third. They don't like the third cigarette. Back in the days when we all used to smoke.
Smoking kills.
Smoking kills.
Yeah. Well, I remember. I used to smoke. I used to be cool. Don't worry. Okay, I'll take it as
just a bit of advice.
And you know what? If I find myself in a trench, I'll think of you first.
Just take it back down to Brighton and just tell us many people as you can.
I'll tell everyone. Don't worry. Guys, we've got rid of lime scale. Also, another thing, quite weird. Come here.
I'm going to go 3 then 4.
3 then 4. Okay.
Based on World War II trench.
Okay, nice stuff. That's a new approach from you on this quiz.
Thank you.
Okay, 3 then 4. Just need a tiebreaker. What was the highest sum animal on the guestination said? So what was the highest number?
Oh,
there's always a weirdo.
Yeah, I bet someone's like never wash my mug. Student houses, maybe 10 from
10.
some absolute grub. Yeah, I said it. You're a grub.
Some absolute scruff. I'll go 15.
15?
Oh,
which is madness.
Yeah, insane.
It's just absolute madness.
Okay, nice. All right. Round is done.
Here we are.
Quiz is done.
Oof.
Answers are in.
Okay, let's
Who
do
said
it.
they'd use a mug more? Was it men or women? It was actually quite blatantly men. So you both got that right. But unfortunately, Bush, because you gave the same answer, that means you can't win.
Oh, okay.
Played that well.
Yeah, sorry. It also ruins the...
Start doing the scores in the news before match of the day.
Yeah, I know.
Fair enough.
I need to work on my podcast etiquette, obviously. I can tell you that the second most common answer was 1.
Whoa.
People just using a mug once. Is this what society has come to? Sticking it straight in the dishwasher. I'm not happy with that. But the most common answer was 3, which you put second.
Yeah.
So you got half point for that, and you got that right.
Okay, so
With that mad logic.
Yeah.
save face. It's all about the
God.
trenches.
Yeah.
And the tiebreaker, the highest someone said 30.
That's disgusting.
Someone said they're using drinking 30 drinks before cleaning.
So that's over like a course of days. You're not drinking 30 in a
Must
day,
be.
are you? So
You
that's
can't
like
be.
you're leaving overnight.
If you're having 30 in a day, that's what?
Yes, too
like-
much.
Yeah.
Like 3 an hour or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, we can't be doing this.
Can you imagine that?
There's some reprobates in the destination.
And I
there
know
really
who that
is.
person is. I'm going to message you.
Oh,
Yeah, fine.
God.
Get them to send in a note about what they're playing at.
Okay, nice.
Is it you, Matt?
It wasn't me, no.
I know that person. They are someone I have met in real life. A different person, certainly.
But that means end of the quiz. Bush, you got 4. Susie, you got a 6.5. That's a good score on
Huge.
Guestimators.
What do I win?
You
Wow.
win. Wow, it's funny you should say that. Bush already teased it a little bit.
It's not a mug, is it? It's not something I can break.
It's a
Yeah.
mug, and if you smash it, we will be very disappointed.
Oh, this is huge.
We're
Thank
very
you.
concerned that
See
you
how
are
long
going to
it
break
lasts.
this.
See
Yeah.
how long-
Keep us posted on how long you've like.
Look, I will try to. Thank you very much. It's a very nice Guestimators mug. I appreciate it.
How long will it last? If you're listening at home, do get in touch. How long do you think it will last? In
I would
Susie's
guess 8
house?
months.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
I think I'll get 8 months.
Okay,
8
I'll put
months,
a
you
reminder
say.
in the calendar to
Yeah,
ask
good.
you in 8 months.
Photo evidence, please. Well, thank you for watching and listening. Thank you to our celebrity guest, the brilliant Suzi Ruffell. Make sure you listen right to the end of the podcast to hear Statman Matt reveal who topped the leaderboard this week. And we'll love hearing from you, so please let us know how you did on socials and with a voice note. And as ever, the voice note number is 07457 404 279. You've been listening to Guestimators. We'll see you next time.
Hello, Guestimators. It's Statman Matt here. For those watching on YouTube or Spotify, you will have seen I've had a haircut. Thank you for noticing. But forget about that. Let's get down to what you really want to know. Who topped the leaderboard this week? I can tell you the average score was 4. So if you scored 4 or above, congratulations. Meant it was a little bit trickier this week. And it required a 10. No, it didn't require a 10. It required a 9 to win. No one got a 10 this week. But someone did top the leaderboard with a 9. And that person was someone who's won before, and that is Tim Barber. 9 out of 10. The only question he got wrong was the last question on round 1, where he put C for one of the letters that no one on the Guest Nation said would win the alphabet fight. But apart from that, he got absolutely everything right. Congratulations, Tim. I'll be in touch with you. You've already got a tote bag prize, so I think I'll have to dig out something new for you. I'll be in touch. Thank you for listening. Thank you for playing. We'll see you next on Monday's bonus round.